up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. This is just a video of absolute pure and utter positivity. Not one bad report, not one negative news, and everything here benefits the club and also especially what the fans have been asking for. Firstly, Luis Diaz in the mud, Nico Williams main priority, and Rafinha staying. That whole entire circle, we're going to discuss all the details, all the prices, and what the ultimate decision is at Barcelona. Secondly, we now have a list of what the midfield targets are for Barcelona. Amadou, Onana being the dream, Merino being a bit more reality, alongside Kimmich as well. We'll talk about that. A lot of advancements, a lot of movements in the sale of Mikayil Faye to Porto. A lot of prices being thrown around, but we'll give you guys the details and behind the scenes as well. Barcelona is still negotiating and still want to keep the two Joaos, but don't want to spend any money on them this summer. That's their clear plan. They can keep them on loan or keep them for free. They will absolutely do so. Well, as soon as they have to pay some money, they will back out of the operation. We have some contract renewal updates as well on Dani, Rodriguez, Araujo. A big change that Barcelona want to do in regards to Youngster's release clause. I'll talk about that. Fermin, Lopez, and Balde register. We have a big injury update on Frankie de Jong, and also, of course, big update on the return to the 1-1 rule in La Liga. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. First up, we do have some positive news around the left wing. A bit of negative, I would say, and we'll discuss that in the very first line. But a big bombshell report coming in from Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo, who again is very close to the club. He's kind of direct communication, one of the few journalists between the club and, of course, us fans, media, whatever the case may be. He came out saying this: the priority now for Barcelona is to strengthen the left wing position. I'm more. Get me out of here, man. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. What? What does man have to do to get an effing midfielder? We're going to talk about midfielders afterwards, but what must man do? I mean, bloody hell. Look, we need a left winger, but should not be the priority, in my opinion, over midfielder. Anyways, Luis Diaz is the name Deco likes the most, but he's expensive, and Rafinha would have to be sold for Luis Diaz to come in. If Rafinha does not get sold, the bet is going to be on Nico Williams, small and less expensive than Luis Diaz. I mean, we've been saying this for how long? We've been saying this since the end of May. Nico Williams not only fits the mold better, but he's going to be a cheaper operation overall. I'm seeing on X or Twitter, whatever, I'm seeing Liverpool fans say they want to sell Luis Diaz to Barcelona. And guess who they want his replacement? You'll never believe it. Nico freaking Williams. They're like, oh, sell Luis Diaz for 70, buy Nico for 60, 10 million profit, and you get a better winger. Hello? I don't know what Deco's... Listen, thank God none of these rumors are official. Because if the rumors about Deco were true, I mean, I might have to fly to Barcelona myself and deal with him. Bloody hell. Thank God nothing's happened yet, but we're on the right track now. The club now are more favoring the signing of Nico Williams over the sporting director's favorite, Luis Diaz. Now, also to add some more cherry on top of that positive cake, Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Nico Williams is the player who appeals to Hansi Flick the most. There is consensus between Flick and the sporting department that Nico is a priority to strengthen the left wing position if the 1-1 rule is achieved and there is the necessary financial power. If they can't get the Athletic Bilbao player, the club will look for a more affordable alternative. That's all you can ask for. Go for it and do not back down with ease. Go for a full flow, make your best offer. If Athletic Club say no, Nico Williams says no, fair enough. I don't want Barcelona to overspend on Nico Williams. Is he the perfect solution? Yes. Should we be sending upwards of 70 million and, you know, worth 200,000 euros a week of wages on? No. Make the proper offer. Make an offer that's best for him, best for Barcelona. If he says no, you walk away. I cannot ask for anything more. Again, I don't want to overpay for Nico Williams. I don't want to overpay for Antoine Griezmann, Rosemont, Dembele, or Coutinho. It does not. No more overpaying. Pay the right price. Of course, I think his market value is 50. His release clause is 60, so I mean that's fine. I think it really comes down to more so the club have the money for the release clause, and also what will he ask for his wages. I personally believe that Nico Williams will not ask for outrageous wages from Barcelona, might ask for what he's about the same on right now at Athletic Club, so we'll wait and see. But again, positive, Nico Williams is now the #1 priority in the left wing. No more Luis Diaz crap. Negative, the left wing now is actually a priority ahead of reinforcing a midfielder. Now, the reason why at the moment the midfield signing is not a priority for Barcelona is because we still have no idea who we want and who to target. Mundo Deportivo, again, Fernando Polo, has come out saying that both Amadou, Onana, and Mikel Merino are ahead of Joao Kimmich as candidates to reinforce the pivot position at Barcelona. Barcelona will attempt to sign Onana if there's enough FFP margin. If not, Merino is the alternative. He's basically saying plan A, Onana, plan B, Merino, plan C, Joao Kimmich. I'll tell you what, man, just like with Nico Williams, absolutely no problem with it. I think this should be the priority position. Of course, and the reason why the left wing is the priority because Barcelona have already set on who they want. Nico Williams, again, he's perfect. With the midfield, bit more debate. No one's really perfect. One's cheaper, one's more expensive. One has this, one has that. So I kind of understand that, but I think we should be sorting out the solution here, figuring out who the main target is, who the alternative option is. Now, on Amadou Onana, I've been watching him a lot at the Euros. I'm telling you what, man. He's persuading me a little bit with his performances. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's dear. No, I'm not gonna say perfect because I'm not gonna say that. I think he's a very, very good option to come in for Barcelona. Again, the issue is just the price. Everton wanting around I think 60 to 70 million euros for him, which is a lot. I think he's valued at around 40. That's what I've been saying consistently over the past few months. I would maybe bring that up to 50 now because not only we're desperate, but again, he's impressed me of late. Don't think he's touching 60 or 70, so we'll wait and see. Mikel Merino, of course, we know it's going to be 25 million plus 5 million euros in variables, around a 30 million euro package. And apparently, of course, Bayern Munich won around 30 or 40 million for Joao Kimmich. So you're going to have a 20 million euro separation between Onana and then Merino / Kimmich. With Merino and Kimmich, very similar profile, very similar prices. Maybe Merino because it's a bit cheaper. Again, Merino has the advantage, La Liga experience, Spanish, easy integration, stuff like that. Kimmich will be a bit difficult, and again, we know his issues behind the scenes, in the dressing room and stuff like that. So, with these three being the options, I personally do not mind. I think in the order it's in is correct from these three players, Onana, Merino, and Kimmich. That's how I would personally list it as well. Again, now just down to really execution and honing in on who to really go for and for what price. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, the main priority in the midfield is not quite known at this current point. But again, the options are there, just now down to making the pursuit more official. Now, along with the left wing and midfield, there are two other players that Barcelona are very keen on this summer. Are the two Joaos, but not super keen enough to spend some money. And again, it's coming in from Fernando Polo, who's had an absolute bombazo over the past 48 hours. This report right here, exactly. We talked about the Nico Williams report, perfect. The midfield report, perfect. It just keeps getting more perfect. He has an update on the Joaos. He's saying that Barcelona want the Joaos to continue, but not at any cost. The club does not want to commit large sums, and the club's financial numbers do not allow for large expenditures on players who are fit to form the team, but they are not urgent necessities or big bets for the present and the future, which again is a bit of a dig there at Joao. It's a bit of a big dig there at Joao Felix because he's so young. Barcelona is playing a double card because they want them to stay and never want them to return to their teams either. The club is calm because through Mendes, they do their best to continue on a reasonable salary. If their clubs ask for money, Barcelona will say no. Ah, man. I mean, this is just a report. Let's hope it's true. Let's hope that's the reality. Again, Fernando Polo is one of the top sources around Barcelona. Music to my ears. I think what he means by pay money, he means pay money this summer. So we want to do a loan with a buy option. That's definitely possible. I think the loan with the mandatory buy option is not really keen for Barcelona. I think they want that option. Worst case scenario, if that has to be in the deal. But the club are saying, look, we like the Joaos. We want to keep them. Not really super duper priorities or big bets or future players, but we want to keep them. But at, of course, a good price. And again, I've repeated myself a little bit, but that's all you can ask for. If you can keep these players on good deals, sure. If not, you back out and you get the hell out of there. Again, I've been staying consistent on this, and I'll say it again. I would maybe push a little bit more for Cancelo over Felix. Well, Felix, again, you have Hansi Flick. Look, I've seen Hansi Flick drop some pictures of him training with Alejandro Balde, man. I'm just... there's nothing more I want next season than to see Ansu Fati and Balde down that left-hand side and praying for some absolute fire link-up. So, with Felix, definitely offer, what you think is best for the club's financial situation and for the squad. If Atletico would just say no, get the hell out of there, don't waste your time. With City, maybe do little things extra. But again, with Mendes, we do have the advantage. We do bend over backward for him every single transfer window, whether it's the summer or the winter, for his agents or for himself. We bend over backwards for him, so hopefully he will help us out in this regard. So we'll wait and see how things turn out with the Joaos. But again, the club have set their conditions very clear on what formulas they want to pursue to keep them this summer. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Now, players left Barcelona a very long time ago is Abel Ruiz, and he was just sold from Braga to Girona for 8.5 million euros. Now, firstly, that's a good move for himself, good move for Girona. He's kind of the last Barca athletic striker that we produce since Marc Guiu. I remember his time at Barcelona from like 2016 to 2018-ish. He played a couple of minutes, a couple of games for the first team. But the reason why I bring this up is because Barcelona do have a percent of a future sale. Now, according to reports and sources, the exact percentage is unknown. Well, the club, of course, know it, but in the media, they don't know it. But they're saying it's around 10%, which means we get about 850,000 to €1 million for this operation. So, lovely jubbly, we will absolutely take that. So that's money in the bank for Barcelona since they had a sell-on clause for Abel Ruiz, and we'll wait and see how he does next season at Girona. Now, the exit that's the most advanced right now from Barcelona is, of course, the exit of Mikayil Faye to Porto. We do have some upbeats. Now, a few days ago, Deco was, I don't mean I can say leaked, but was spotted taking a plane to Porto. Now, keep in mind, Deco is from Porto. I initially thought that, he's probably just going back home like he usually does at a consistent rate. He leaves and comes back every other day. I'm going to have family issue, this family issue. I mean, I don't want to assume what's happening. Hopefully, God forbid, nothing serious, but all these family issues every single time and stuff like that with Deco. So I just thought he was going home just cuz. But then Kent has reported that Deco is currently traveling to Porto. There is, of course, the open case about Mikayil Faye. A few hours after a few hours after Deco landed in Porto, Gerard Romero came out saying that Deco is negotiating the transfer of Mikayil Faye with Porto. The initial figures have been completely deflated by the Portuguese club. They're now talking about 5 million fixed plus variables. There is a buyback clause and a possible percent of a future sale as well. The player has full agreement on personal term with Porto. What? We went from 15 million to 5. Remember, last summer, how much did we buy Mikayil Faye for? 5. So you're telling me, after a year at Barca Athletic, impressing and lighting the world on fire with the prospect and talent he has, we're not even making a profit. Not even a euro profit. Of course, variables and stuff like that may be achieved, but not a euro profit. I saw this. I lost my shit on Twitter. Follow me, BarcaBoy13, want my instant reaction to transfer news and everything like that. I lost my goddamn freaking mind. But guess who came to save the day for me? Your boy Fernando Polo, again from Mundo Deportivo. He came out saying that Deco was in Porto, but not for Mikayil Faye. After landing in Porto, he clarified that his presence was due to personal and non-professional issues. So Deco, when leaving Porto to come back to Barcelona, was stopped by the media, stuff like that. The media asked him, "Are you here for Mikayil Faye?" Deco had the funniest reaction. He gave him like the ugliest face ever. He would literally give him some weird face. He said, like, "Look, I'm in Portugal. I'm not in Portugal to negotiate anything. I have a house in Portugal. I have my family here, and my children are here." And Fernando Polo also mentioned that Porto are interested in Mikayil Faye, but they're only willing to pay 5 million, and not the 15 million that Barcelona demands. So kind of agreeing there with Gerard Romero a little bit, but saying the deal's not done whatsoever. So, as I expected initially when I saw him traveling, Deco was saying that he went for family, personal matters, stuff like that. Now, following all of this, Fabrizio Romano shone some light on us and gave us some more positivity, saying that Barcelona, again, wants around 15 to 16 million euros from Mikayil Faye for Porto. Furthermore, Barcelona wants to include a buyback clause and a sell-on clause as well. Those are the conditions set by Barcelona, and nothing has changed since then. So, what we want from Mikayil Faye is quite clear. Again, unless this offer is matched, he will do preseason with the first team. And again, like I said about Nico, positive news. Midfield, positive news. Joaos, positive news. The club just have to set the conditions, which we all agree upon, and remain firm. Unless the club comes in and bids 15, gives us a buyback option, percent of a future sale, Mikayil Faye is doing preseason with the first team. That is guaranteed. So if Zubi at Porto, of course, Barcelona legendary goalkeeper, sporting director there, wants to cough up the money that we want, or at least negotiate something relatively close, then this deal should not be doing. If we do a deal for 5 million euros, fixed. I don't care if the variables are plus 20. Could not care less. If we do a deal with an initial fee of less than 10 million euros, I am going to lose my freaking mind. But again, nothing's done, and we'll wait and see how things do turn out with Mikayil Faye, as his move to Porto is intensifying as the days go passing by. Now, another player that is also very close to the exit at Barcelona is the first team captain, Sergi Roberto, who just has now around 48 hours left of his Barcelona contract. And Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Sergi Roberto sees his future away from Barcelona unless there is a dramatic change in the financial scenario. The player wants to wait, but he will not wait forever. Clubs like Sevilla, Valencia, Girona, and Inter Milan are interested. However, the player prefers to end up in England. So where Roberto goes does not concern me. We'll see him back. If I'm Roberto, don't be stupid. Hit up the Miami coast, rally up with the lads, win some trophies there, and have vibes. If he's smart. If he wants to go and unless a big team offers him something where he can win stuff, I just go back there. That's my opinion. Anyway, don't care where he goes. I still think Roberto's going to stay. I've been saying this. I've been consistent for the past month. I think once Barcelona officially return back to the 1-1 rule, do some of their important things like register these players' renewals, these players' deals, they're going to realize they have room left for Roberto. I am so convinced Roberto is staying. If he does not, fair enough. Again, I think his time to leave was last summer. Now I'm kind of 50-50. If you want to keep him cool, if you don't want to keep him cool, I don't really care. Because again, I can see a lot of pros in keeping him. I can see the cons in keeping him as well. But I'll let that be handled by the board and the player. So I'm on the fence with Roberto if he stays or not. I still think he's going to stay. Not because I want him to stay, but how the situation is going. Oh, it's not going to stay. Oh, we don't have any space for your salary. We go back to 1-1 rule. Wow, you have a lot of space. Roberto, do you want to stay? That's exactly how I see everything panning out. And again, he's willing to wait. The club have not said they don't want him. The media is still saying he's just closer to the exit door. Nothing confirmed. So this is just my personal opinion. But again, the media have been consistent over the past 2 or 3 weeks saying that Roberto very, very close to leaving. So we'll see who's right. Will it be the media or Barca boy? That remains to be seen. But for now, let's go with the media because they have the sources and I don't, again, around this scenario. Anyways, I do have some sources, not the flex. Anyways, we'll wait and see what happens with Roberto, and we'll see if he will be the first team captain next season, or will it be Marc-Andre ter Stegen? Now, a key player for Barcelona that is attracting some interest from big Premier League clubs is Jules Kounde. Now, Joao Romero has come out saying that Arsenal have officially inquired about Jules Kounde. Barcelona say that he will not leave unless a big offer comes in, but they're also waiting to see what will happen with Araujo, basically saying that, look, if we end up selling Araujo, we're definitely going to keep Kounde and probably consider him an untouchable, but if we keep both of them, big offer, we'll let him go. Couple of things here. One, no problem with that whatsoever. If Arsenal bid, I would say 75 plus million for Jules Kounde, I'll sit down and negotiate. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I would not, for me personally, big Kounde fan, I would not sell him at all. I would consider him an untouchable. He's an absolute elite defender, and he's someone that he is the last signing that I was super, and I mean super, excited for. I think he's a brilliant player, very versatile, and he still has a lot of years left in his career. His mentality is strong, his physique is great. He's just a sensational defender and exactly what you need. Don't know why Arsenal want him. They have Ben White, they have Saliba, they have Gabriel. I mean, do they really want to add Jules Kounde to that? Fair enough. You have Timber coming back from his ACL injury as well. They need more so of a left back, Arsenal, not a center back / right back. They're pretty well covered in that position. But hey, yo, it is what it is. They can do what they want. They can show some interest. But again, we'll wait and see if an offer does come in. Again, it has to be a big offer to sell Jules Kounde, which it probably is for the rest of the squad as well. Only good big offers will be considered. So we'll see how that pans out. But again, big team showing interest in Jules Kounde, and we'll see if there's anything advancing over the next few weeks, which again is pretty unlikely as things currently stand. Now, another player that is in the exact same position as Jules Kounde is Rafinha, where Barcelona have actually set their price on the minimum amount they want to sell him for this summer. And again, it's your boy Fernando Polo. He's saying that Barcelona will only consider Rafinha's departure if there's an offer of 90 million euros or more, of course. Rafinha is highly regarded by the sports area and also from Hansi Flick. again, I think this has been the best transfer video I've recorded in such a long time. Nothing but perfect and correct news. Again, no worries with this whatsoever. I was more worried that Barcelona were going to sell Rafinha for around 70 and then use that money to go and buy Luis Diaz. That's what I was worried about. If they come, I think even 80 million is a very, very good offer for Rafinha that I would highly consider. I think the plan would, with 90 million, the cover basically saying, look, this is the threshold. But if a bid for 80 comes in, the club say, okay, if we sell him for 80, what can we use this 80 for? Is 80 enough to really, invest in the squad and make an upgrade on Rafinha or bring in a player of equal quality? If it is, then sure. If they say no, they'll say, okay, we need a bit more, whatever the case may be. But this, for me, again, perfect. I would not push out Rafinha. I would not sell Rafinha. I think he's done well enough for the past 2 seasons or the 3rd season for sure. The price is set for him. If someone comes and bids it and pays it, sure. Maybe Saudi come with the 100 million euro bid. That was, of course, we talked about a few days ago. If that comes in, cool, great, whatever. Again, he's kind of a player that if we do sell for big money, I will not be phased. I will not be bothered. He's not like an Araujo or a Kounde or a Frankie or a Pedri or a Yamal or a Gabi, where if a big offer comes in, you say no, 100%. With Rafinha, you're like, okay, you know what? He's a good player. We want to keep him, but this is too big of an offer to refuse. So we'll see how this plays out. But again, more good news around Rafinha's future at Barcelona, where the club have set a 90 million euro price tag in order to consider even negotiating or considering his departure this summer. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the contract renewal of Ronald Araujo, who had an absolutely fantastic game a few days ago against Bolivia in the Copa America. But Victor Malo has come out saying that Hansi Flick has asked for Araujo to stay. The coach is counting on him. Deco wants him and Laporta wants him to stay, as he recently stated multiple times. The player's environment also assured that he would stay. There is no rush about the player's agent meeting with the club, and both parties agree that he has 2 years left on his contract and there is no real rush. Everything might change if an offer comes in for around 100 million euros, okay? But in the current situation, Araujo is staying and Flick is counting on him. Again, like I mentioned in the last video, I'm at a point now where you've got to renew or at least make good advancements for Araujo's contract by the end of this summer. I think once the summer passes, you're giving so much more leverage to the future on the Araujo and the player perspective, where right now you still have a bit of leverage and you want to at least advance a few things. Look, seen a lot of people saying that they would sell Araujo because of the last season, a few mistakes. We've been saying in the media that he's focused on the Copa America. Look, you have to remember the backstory about Araujo in Uruguay. Remember, he's only been fit, or he's only been like a Uruguayan national team player for 3 tournaments. 2 of them he was injured for. Of course, remember the last World Cup, Barcelona was the one that told Uruguay, look, he's injured, you're not taking him. They want to take him and kind of evaluate him. Maybe he could have been fit if they made it to the round 16, but Barcelona said no, and Araujo sided with Barcelona, so keep that in mind as well. And of course, this summer, this is his first major tournament for his country after receiving a lot of criticism for not really caring about the country, not playing too much, because again, during a lot of the international breaks, Araujo was injured, so that is also something very important for Araujo. So I understand why in the media when he's representing Uruguay, saying, look, I'm focused on Uruguay, Copa America, this is what I want. So I understand that perspective. But again, when Barcelona been kind of trying to talk to himself like that since February, offering a renewal in February and no answer yet, that's not really nice from Araujo's side either. So we'll see how things do play out. Now, Catalunya Radio via eSport 3 have come out saying that when the Copa America ends, Deco and Araujo's representatives will meet. The player wishes to continue, but an exit is not ruled out. Again, that's just logical. That's not like, oh, we're going to keep a player that does not want to stay 100%. Of course, leaving that door open for other clubs to be interested. I've seen a report, I think, from El Chiquito, of course, which is zero reliability, but I just thought it was funny. They're like, oh, what did they say? They said Manchester United, Manchester City, and Newcastle want Araujo. I'm thinking, first of all, Man City do not want Araujo. Second of all, if Araujo wants to jump ship from Barcelona, where you can see from this picture right here, he has the armband. He'll have the armband. If Roberto leaves this summer, he'll be the first team captain in about 2 years. He wants to jump ship to Newcastle, living up in Geordie, or he wants to go to Manchester United, where they have the most leakiest stadium I've seen in my life, just to earn more money. That's his ambition. Fair enough, crack on, see you later. But I think Araujo is bigger than that. Again, he will earn good money at Barcelona. We're not giving him freaking peanuts. He's going to earn around, I think, 170 to 200,000 euros per week, somewhere in that region. That's very, very good money. Of course, despite the Newcastle United probably offer him around 300,000 euros. But we'll see how things do play out with Araujo's future. But I think nothing will advance. Nothing will really be decided. There will be no movements until Uruguay's campaign with Copa America is done. After that, that's when we get to the real good stuff. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Dani Rodriguez. A few months ago, he was basically out the door. The club didn't show him any confidence. He didn't feel happy. He was about to go to Sociedad or Bilbao, one of the Basque countries. all of a sudden, it's been another yet remontada for Barcelona. Tony Juan Martí has come out saying that Barcelona and Dani Rodriguez have reached a complete agreement on a contract renewal, despite having significant offers from other clubs such as Tottenham, Athletic, and Real Sociedad. A satisfying agreement has been reached for both parties. The player will play for Barça Athletic next season and be one of the top players for that side. Again, no problems whatsoever. Dani Rodriguez is a top talent. Again, the reason why he was considering leaving is Barcelona were giving him guarantees via the Barca Athletic side and also the first team, and I guess now an agreement has been reached. That's also fantastic news. We are hearing, by the way, he will have a relatively high release clause. You're probably wondering why we're giving a high release clause to Dani Rodriguez, and that's because Barcelona want to avoid what's happened with Marc Guiu. Luis Rojo come out saying that Deco intervenes to avoid a repeat of what happened with Guiu. Work will be done to increase the release clause for academy players, and there will be variables as well. If he plays a certain number of matches with the first team, the value of the penalty clause, release clause, will increase. Now, Barcelona always do this. They always make a mistake, but then they learn from it. They never do it again. A perfect example of that, Neymar back in 2017. When PSG activates release clause of 200 million euros, what did Barcelona do? They tripled everyone's release clause in the first team. We give 500 million euro release clause to Paco Alcácer, to Jasper Cillessen, and all these dead players. They just have absolutely fat release clauses. Now, if you look at the release clauses of the first team, I think I have a graphic here actually. No, it doesn't have it on this one, but you can go through this whole entire team, and their release clauses are stupid high. Why? Because Barcelona want to not repeat what happened with Neymar. That's why Gavi has a €1 billion release clause. Balde, Kubarsi, all these top players. I think Lewandowski is around like 200, which is outrageous for him and his age and stuff like that. So the club always happens. This always happens to the club. They always learn from their mistakes when that mistake happens. Even though it's not really a mistake, that Guiu's release clause was €6 million. That's pretty respectable for Barca Athletic / Juvenile A player, so not really a big deal there, but the club will improve and hopefully keep their release clause relatively high, especially if they're involved and making minutes for the first team as well. So that's a good thing. Hopefully that change will be implemented soon, but nonetheless though, Dani Rodriguez has created his future for Barcelona, and he'll be one of the star players for Barca Athletic next season. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, a good report here from Luis Rojo saying that Barcelona have now officially registered the full new contracts of both Fermin Lopez and Alejandro Balde. Of course, that's great news, especially now hopefully we're getting closer and closer to returning to the 1-1 rule. These two players, of course, their new contracts were never renewed. They were always on the previous contract, but now since the new season has ended, you have to register the latest deal that they're on, and that's what Barcelona have done. So if you look at the La Liga website, everything should be up to date in regards to their latest contract renewal. Of course, that's important to retain their value and not having to worry about them as well. So Barcelona registering, by the way, Balde and Fermin before we return to 1-1 rule. You're telling me we're not going to keep Roberto? Come on now, I'm telling you. I feel like Roberto is going to stay. So of course, this is good news. Nothing else to really add to this. Let's hope Barcelona can register other players that are also very important for the squad. Now, staying on the topic of Spanish players around Barcelona, we do have some quotes coming in from Ferran and Lamine Yamal. I will say this: the Spanish players have done more talking to the media than they have played minutes on the pitch in Germany. Bloody hell, Raccoon, Mundo Deportivo, Marca, Diario RS, they're just camping around the players and just interviewing them left, right, and center every single day. It's getting so boring. But again, they come out saying some important things, so we will cover it. First, on Lamine Yamal, he was asked about not being called up for the Olympics. He said that, look, I have played a very large load of minutes this season for my age. I have decided not to go to the Olympics because I thought about the Euros first, and I want to 100% focus on this. So great mentality for a 16-year-old. So again, that was the plan originally as well. We talked about this about 2 months ago, where Barcelona reached an agreement with the Spanish Federation to only have him play in the Euros if, of course, he will be planning to play a significant amount of minutes, which he has done. Of course, no worries there. Also in the same interview, he was asked about taking the number 10 shirt, and he said this: the number 10 is currently Ansu's, but if he were to be here in the squad and the club offered it to me, of course I would accept it. It is a dream for me. We're gonna have Lamine Yamal number 10 next season. I cannot. Yo, Ansu, man, you better score 20 goals in preseason. Listen, the club are gonna make money off this. I'm just worried about the pressure on Lamine. I mean, I suggested Gundogan in the last video, but if he's saying he's gonna take it, the club are gonna give it to him, no doubt. So, if Ansu leaves Barcelona, loan, sale, whatever the case may be, Lamine is getting number 10. So get your mindset focused and honed in on that. Next up, we have some quotes coming in from Ferran Torres. He was, of course, talking about his future, saying that, look, it's not whether I want to continue or not at Barcelona. It's that I am 100% going to be continuing at Barcelona. I'm very calm. I will continue at the club next year. They can save the ink and change my name for someone else. So he was asked again about his future. He's saying, look, I'm staying 100%, so you can, rumor about someone else. There's no chance of leaving Barcelona this summer. I mean, is that a worry for me? Not necessarily. If we do keep Felix, I will be worried because, of course, I'm on the big Ansu Fati push. So, again, you have Ansu Fati who wants to stay. You have Ferran Torres who wants to stay. You have Joao Felix who wants to stay. Out of those three, you can, at best, at a push, keep two. I would say probably one to keep a fair balance of the squad. But if you want to have more players in certain positions, then at best two. So, we'll see. Again, if Ansu can really perform in preseason, he can really stop this Joao Felix deal from happening, which, I wouldn't mind, of course. He's also asked about him going to the Olympics. He said that, look, the prospect of being in the Olympic squad made me excited. It is a competition that I have not played in yet, but the truth is that we have to be realists. The season was very long, and there were many matches, as well as a lot of injuries. It's not worth playing in the Euros and the Olympics in the same season. For me, it's best to prevent it, calm down, recover, and face the preseason with the new coach. So again, similar mentality to Lamine Yamal. I wish Pedri had this back in 2021. That's all I can really say. He didn't have that, and look what happened to him. And this is a good example of Ferran Torres and Lamine Yamal learning from other people's mistakes and implementing them for their philosophy, for their thought process. So that's good on him. So Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres being very logical and not being called up for Spain for the Olympics. Lamine Yamal saying he's taking the number 10, and Ferran Torres being absolutely adamant that he's guaranteed to be staying at Barcelona next season. Let's now discuss some injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, and the only update that we do have is on Frenkie de Jong. He was spotted, by the way, in Ibiza, chilling on the boat where Mundo Deportivo, some cameraman took some pictures of him, which is, not really nice from the player's perspective, but you know what, you're Barcelona player, so game's game. Now, Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Frenkie de Jong will not need surgery and he will be ready for the Manchester City friendly for first match, of course, in preseason after his current injury. And Fernando Polo also said that de Jong will join the start of preseason on July the 10th. So de Jong should be fit, available for the start of preseason on July the 10th. And again, he should be fully fit, ready to go, pending, of course, no injury in training for the match against Man City, the first game of preseason during the American tour. So good news there, of course. Didn't miss the Euros, unfortunately, but should be back to start the new season with Barcelona. Now, speaking on preseason, of course, there's going to be a new start, a new era to Barcelona, and with that comes some changes from behind the scenes. We do have some updates about the new trainers, physios, and coaches at Barcelona. Firstly, Mikayil from AS came out saying that due to concerns over physical preparation and injury recovery, Barcelona hired recovery specialist Raul Martinez and physical trainer Jorge Toulouse, as well as trainer Rafael Mandando and also Pepe Kounde. Of course, Mandando from Sociedad, Pepe Kounde from, of course, Sevilla. These new hires led to the dismissal of a total of 14 people at Barcelona, including Xavi, 2 assistants, 3 scouts, 2 physical trainers, 4 physiotherapists, a doctor, and a communication advisor. So a lot of sackings, a lot of new people coming in. Also, Mundo Deportivo are saying that Barcelona have signed Real Betis analyst Francisco Marti. He worked under Manuel Pellegrini until now, and he will join Hansi Flick's coaching staff next season. So along with Flick bringing in a few of his men, Barcelona also giving him some good resources as well. Again, these changes were needed. We just weren't wouldn't say we weren't fit per se, but the injuries and stuff were just too consistent. I think Gundogan and Inaki Peña were the only 2 players who did not get injured at all last season. Maybe Fermin Lopez as well. I don't remember him being injured. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. The amount of injuries we get, when, how, and why. Hopefully this stuff will at least, you can't prevent injuries, but hopefully you can slow it down and reduce the chances as much as possible. So these changes, of course, absolutely spot on from the club. Then the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rule. Of course, on Thursday, there was the final end of financial year board meeting at Barcelona that took place. Of course, it was lead. We saw Laporta and everyone involved coming in and out of the sports city. And following the meeting, we did get some news. Firstly, from Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo. He came out saying the board directors met, of course, on Thursday, but did not make a final decision about the investor who will buy the Liberal shares. June 30th is actually not the deadline, and La Liga gives an opportunity in July until the accounts are drawn up. The club is optimistic about closing the financial year with profits and then getting the green light from La Liga to return to the 1-1 rule. Oh, I mean, my head just hurts. I was so I mean, I've been consistent in the fact that I was saying that Barcelona are going to do this last second. Now the last second has been extended. Again, whatever. I don't care. As long as the club get this done as quickly and effectively as possible so that we can operate in the transfer market in somewhat of a regular fashion. That's all I care about. I don't care when the deadline is, how we get there. Just get the effing deal and get everything over the line. Sport also came out saying that Joao Laporta has informed the board of directors that talks with a company that will pay the 60 million euros to replace Liberal, of course, are advancing. This means the club will return to the 1-1 rule, and it's closer than ever in that fact. La Liga has also been informed about the negotiations and the situation in regards to the process. So again, everything's in place, just now down to finalizing everything, making it all official, and ending all this talk about me and 1-1 rules every single day in the videos. It's getting boring, getting dull, so hopefully we can resolve this in the next week, even though the financial deadline is June the 30th. Apparently this can be extended until the first week of July. So if we make it by the second week of July, I'm gonna lose my mind. So hopefully we can get this done as quickly and effectively as possible and return to the 1-1 rule again. Barcelona and even La Liga fully confident that Barcelona will do so. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. Your thoughts on the left wing priority, midfield reinforcement, Mikayil Faye to Porto, not spending any money on the Joaos, 1-1 rule, the new transfer plan with youngsters who have their release clause very high. Leave me all your thoughts down in the comments below, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.